Hello Blue Coat, it's Mr. Harris here, and I'm bringing you another home science experiment, something you can do at home with just a few simple pieces of equipment. We'll begin, as we always do, by looking back at last week's orange fizz experiment. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm just going to look at what was going on in that experiment, see if you can recall that. So, a little quiz for you to fill out the missing words. So the in the orange mixes with the This causes a The causes carbon dioxide to be created as bubbles. Is the same gas we breathe out and also gives us fizzy drink their taste. So just have a go at filling out those gaps with the words at the bottom, and we'll have a look if you were correct. So that's right, the acid in the orange mixes with the base, that was the bicarbonate of soda. This causes a chemical reaction. Think back to that lava lamp experiment as well, which had a similar reaction. And it is the reaction causes carbon dioxide to be created as bubbles, and the carbon dioxide is the same gas we breathe out and gives fizzy drinks their taste. Okay, moving on to today's session. You will need just a few simple ingredients. So, you will need a perspex or glass bowl or plate, a whiteboard pen similar to what you get at school, but just need to make sure it's dry wipe and not a permanent marker, as that could cause a few problems. And you'll just need a bit of water, preferably in a jug. I've got a white piece of paper down just to make it more visible. So let's start with the science. For some reason I've still got a picture of some citrus fruits there, but we'll go with it. That's from last week's. The ink in a whiteboard pen is actually a liquid with coloured pigments in it. When you draw on the glass, the liquid dries and quickly becomes a solid. So we're going to see what happens if we draw on the perspex and then pour some water in. So just to start with, I'm going to draw something on the bottom of my perspex. So here's a good opportunity to carry on what we did with Mrs. Gilding in her art lesson, drawing stick men. So I'm going to just draw a simple stick man, or stick person, and I want it to look like it's running. Okay, so got my legs, my arms. Now children, once you've done this, it could be good just to go over the ink again so that all the lines are joined together. Once you've done that, you're going to have to pause for a moment and leave the ink to dry. As I said earlier, we want the ink to turn from a liquid to a solid. I'm just going to draw another couple of lines in to see if we can get some more science from this. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video now and we'll be back when the ink has dried. So just before we begin, it's great to make a quick prediction about what you think will happen. That's what scientists are doing. They want to predict a hypothesis or an idea. So I predict that the ink will, or because the liquid has become a solid, will happen. Okay, let's have a quick go at this now. So children, this is the tricky bit, and it may not work first time. I've let the ink dry so that it now should have gone from a liquid to a solid. I'm going to pour a bit of water in, but at this stage you don't want it to touch the ink yet, just so it gets close as enough water. Then going to turn the bowl so that the water is just underneath the ink. And I'm going to slowly tilt the bowl so that hopefully the water will slide underneath the ink. As you can tell, I'm doing it very slowly. Coming up to his other leg now. And can you see his leg is moving? Still going ever so slowly. I'm not sure the other two lines have quite worked, or his other leg, but this is where the challenge will come in for you. You can see where some of the ink wasn't actually together from my pen, so parts of his limbs have actually moved apart. Oh, some of that is floating. Okay, so we have part success there. You should be able to see some of the ink now is floating on top of the water. I'm going to put my finger in and see if we can move some of that about. Unfortunately, my stick man has lost some of his limbs, but part of it is floating around the water. But I would say that is semi-successful. And it's for you to try and see if you can get your whole stick man to float on the water. Okay, we're just going to talk about what has happened there. I don't want this video to go on too long now. So as we discussed, the liquid ink becomes a solid as it dries on the glass. The water slides on the smooth glass, so the solid ink slides off when it gets wet and it floats on the surface of the water. And that's how we've got some parts on the bottom and some parts on the top. Have a go at that. I'd love to see some pictures if you send them into your year group email, yearwhatever@bluecoatfederation.co.uk. Okay, enjoy. Bye.